Hello everyone, this is Sheila back with a little video, and today I'm going to show how I work out my own patterns. This one I've got here is a simple 16-inch cardigan for a newborn baby, being 0 to 3 months. Now for this pattern I've got here is a very simple knit 2 purl 2 small basket stitch. It's 2x4, it's 2 stitches by 4 rows. And this pattern here, I don't need to do a swatch for it anymore because I know exactly what the tension comes out. It comes out 6 stitches to the inch. And this is with double knitting. Usually when I'm knitting with double knitting other patterns, sometimes they come out 5.5 stitches to the inch, sometimes 5 stitches to the inch. It depends on the pattern you're doing. But this one, because it does pull in a little bit, is 6 stitches to the inch. So with this one, I worked out the 16 inches. This piece will probably measure 8.5 inches. We'll measure it and see. Yes, it measures 8.5 inches across. So when you're doing a 16 inch, you don't want it to actually measure 16 inches. You want it to measure about 17. That gives the baby just a little bit more room for growing. So when I worked out, I want 16 inches, that would be half of that. For the back would be 8 inches, or I wanted 17 inches, would be 8.5 inches. So 8.5 times 6, well, 6 eighths is 48. And I've added just a couple more stitches. I made it up to 50 inches because you do need an even number for this. And so that couple of extra stitches will be what you sew up the side. So it's not exactly 6 stitches. It works out about 5 3/4 inch, about 5 3/4 stitches. That's the way it is. So I cast on 50 stitches, and I always knit for babies ones, a newborn baby. I knit well, I'm not sure exactly, but I knit 8 rows. I knit 6 or 8 rows, but I knit 8 with this one. That's an inch. That's an inch for the rib. That's about all you need for a little baby one. You don't want a long rib. And the pattern itself was from there. If you measure from the side there, it'll be longer. But if you measure from the very centre, it's about the same with this one. But I knit to about 5 inches up to the armholes, and I worked that out 7.5 stitches, or 7.5 rows to the inch. And I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5, because I actually started in the middle of the shaping in the middle of that. So I did 20, I think it was 20, was it 30 rows? I think it's 30 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 28. Yes, I knit 30 rows to get it to 5 inches. Now when I come to do the shaping, I cast off the three stitches at each side. That's what I've done on this one. So that leaves me with 44 stitches. And when I'm doing the shaping from there, I work out I'm going to be left with either 16, 17 or 18 stitches. It depends on the pattern you're doing. But with this one, I wanted to be left with 18 stitches for the neck. So I worked the first increase was on the 4th row. It was like 2 rows after I did the 2 cast off rows. Then I knit another 2 rows, and then I did my decreasing on the 4th row, and then I worked it on every other row up until I had 18 stitches. And you more or less work the number of stitches that you have left is more or less similar to the actual chest measurement of the baby. So if a baby's 16, 17 inches, you want about 16, 17 stitches. Well, I've got 18 stitches. That's how I worked that out. And that, the decreasing from here up to there was actually 13 decreasing. And that's how I worked that out. And when I come to these are the two fronts. And how I work out the fronts, put them on. I don't use measurements. I go by visual. And at the front, you get the ends out the way there. See, I had 50 stitches for the back, so I halved the stitches for each side piece. Well, half of 50 is 25, and you need an even number for this, so I made it 24 stitches. And after I cast off the stitches for the armhole, I kept on knitting and till I got so far up, and every so often I was putting it down on the back until the neck looked about right, which was where it was here. So when I was left with 12 stitches, when I put that down on there and just looking at it, that looks about right for the neck. So I had 12 stitches left down. So that's what I worked out for that I needed 12 stitches for the decreasing here. So I cast off 3 stitches for the neck here, and then I decreased at the start at the neck edge on the next 3 rows, and then I kept on decreasing up, but the decrease here came a little bit higher up, so I had to take it back down to where I'd done the three decreasing, and I decreased 1 more stitch, so it was 4. So I cast off 3 and decreased 4 times, and that brought that level with the back to keep the fronts level with the back, the same number of decreasing from there up to the point. And that was how I worked out the 2 fronts. Now when I come to do the sleeve, I have both sleeves here. When I come to do the sleeves, you have to work out the width of a child's arm. And I know that the baby's arm is about 4 inches. The wrist is about 4 inches. So that's what that is. And the pattern is, like I'm saying, this 6 stitches to the inch. So 6 fours is 24. But I've got 28 stitches because I want to do a couple of extra stitches, because you don't actually have this when it's folded up. You don't want it skin tight. You do want a few more stitches. So I made 28 stitches on here. And then I wanted 6 inches to measure the child's higher up on the child's arm. Well, this is just a bit more than 6, just slightly more than 6. So I worked out 6 sixes, that's for the pattern. The 6 sixes is 36, and I added a couple more to that to 38, so I kept increasing until I had 38 stitches here. I started off with 1 increase low down, and then I think I did it every 6th row after that until I had the 38th row, and that's how I worked out the shape of the sleeve. Now when I come to do the decreasing, I wanted to have 6 stitches left for to pick up for the neck. So when I started the decreasing up here, I worked on what I had for the back. The number of the stitches that I decreased for the back was 13 times. So there's 13 on that side and 13 on that side. So when you add those 2 stitches together, that makes 26. So what I did after I cast off these 3 stitches each side, so I took 6 stitches off the 38, that left 32. And as I'm decreasing on each side 13 times, double that is 26. So I took the 26 away from the 32, and that left me with the 6 stitches, and that's how I worked out the decreasing for up here. And that's the way my mind works. It was quite simple after that. So all I have to do now is put the neck on here, and I have all the number of stitches that's on the sleeves and the back of the neck, but I have to work out how many stitches I'm going to pick up here. So I would pick up three of the cast off, that would be 3, another one there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's going by the number of stitches that's going up the side. There's 10 stitches there, so I'd be picking 10 stitches up there on that side and 10 stitches on the other side. And then when I come to do the I am picking the stitches up on the side here, picking them up sideways, but I will have a little bit of rib on the top when I pick up the stitches from the neck. So when I pick up the stitches for the ribbed parts, I pick up every stitch that I come to. So there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There would be pick up actually 8 stitches there, and there'll probably be about 5 on the little bit up here. That'll be for the neckband. And then when I pick the stitches up down the front, I usually pick up, do I have a needle there somewhere I can show you? I can pick up the stitches. So after I've picked up the neckband, I would go 1, 2, 3, miss the next stitch, and then 1, 2, 3 again, and miss the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, and that's how I pick the band up. So you're picking up 3 and missing 1, so you're missing every 4th stitch, and that usually works out right for the band. And that's how I work out my own patterns, and I do that with most patterns. And I find that the stitches that you pick up for the neck usually correspond with the chest measurement. So for a 16-inch, I would pick up either 16, 17 or 18. It depended how many stitches you actually had on. If it was for an 18-inch, I would be picking up 18, 19 or 20 stitches. And for a 20-inch, it would be 20, 21 or 22, and so on. That's how I pick up how I work out the stitches for the back of the neck. So now I'm going to go and finish this cardigan and put the band and the neckband and the button bands on, and then sew it all up. So that's the cardigan when it's finished. All the buttons on and sewn up. That's the back. And that's my own pattern, my own design. I have seen other basket stitch patterns before, but I've never actually seen one the same as this one that I do. So I made this one up myself, and I worked out the instructions for the cardigan myself. So there may be other patterns out there like this somewhere, but this was mine when I made it up. So give a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll show you next time I do another one. Bye for now.